Hello there, everybody. Today I'm going to be showing you all the burrs that I use for when I'm doing the Dremel carving. All these burrs are 1/8, and they do come in 1/4 inch burrs too for your die grinders or your foredoms. I will be sharing this video to my other channel, as I have two YouTube channels, and let's get on with it. And these are basically my go-to burrs when I'm doing the Dremel carving. I'd also like to say that I'm not getting paid for this video. I'm not sponsored by Kutzall. I am a Kutzall affiliate, so that's that. Okay, first of all, to get this video started, I'm going to start off with my 100% go-to burr. This is the Kutzall Extreme, very coarse flame burr. Um, this burr is what really got me to like Kutzall burrs the most. It's super aggressive. You can see they have the little spikes on them. So the burrs come in three different grades. You got the extreme, you get the black, then you get the silver that's coarse. Then you get the fine, that's the gold one, and this is basically a carving with sandpaper. So this burr here, the Kutzall Extreme Flame Burr, lots of you regular subscribers know that this is my go-to burr, and I always use this burr. I got like, let's see, I got some of them right here. You know, this burr really hogs out the wood fast. You have to be careful when you're using this burr because it's so aggressive that you don't break your flex shaft if you're using the flex shaft. So for like, I'm not going to do any carving today, but I got this piece of cedar here, and I kind of notched this out with my chainsaw yesterday. Show you guys an example. But when I'm going to bulk out lots of wood, like all in this area right here, I'll definitely be using this burr. This burr is good because you can use it on the side. You can remove wood that way, or you can also use the point of it to do thinner cuts, right? So mostly I use this to hog out wood. I do lots of somewhat detail carving with this, not much so. But if you want to get into really nice, so for example, you can start off with this extreme flame one, the really aggressive one. Then you could switch to over to the original. Get it out of this package here. This one, it's not so aggressive. I'll show you the two comparisons. This one's more has more like spikes on it. This one's more kind of well, it's smaller kind of spikes, I guess you could say. This one is way more aggressive than this one. Then let's get the gold one out. And it's the same for all of these burrs. They all come in the three different grades: black, silver, and gold. So here's the gold one. You can see how fine that is. So here's the three of these. The black is the most aggressive, the silver's middle, and then you got the gold one that's super fine. And when you're carving at a high speed, it's carving like with sandpaper. So for the very beginning wood carvers, if you haven't done it yet with your Dremel, I suggest getting one of these extreme. I'd suggest getting all these burrs. Actually, the more that you have in your arsenal, the more carving that you're going to be able to do. So there you go. There's the three of them right there. The Kutzall flame burrs. Okay. I don't suggest start carving with the Dremel burrs. I think lots of them are just, well, they're not the best for wood carving. Um, there's a couple burrs I use. I use the Dremel 125 for like burning kind of. So here's the next one. This is probably the next one that I use the most. Well, there's one other one too. This is the taper burr. There's two different types of taper burrs, I believe. Yeah, there is. So this is the longer, skinnier one. This is good for oops. This is good for doing undercuts. You can see the black, how aggressive it is. I don't know if maybe I should give you some better lighting here. See how it has the little spikes on it? This is really good doing for undercuts. Let's see here. Let's get that board over here. So say if this was going to be, like say if this was a car in there or a flower and you didn't want it to look attached to the wood. On lots of my videos I talk about undercuts. So this burr here, you can get underneath there to separate it and make it look like this piece has been glued on and you get shadows behind it. Same with this. If you wanted this to have an undercut, it's thin, it's nice and thin enough, you can get in there. This burr's good too. Say if you got, let's give an example here. You got let's just draw a leaf on here. So you got the leaf there. It's good to block out your carving too. So It's in your Dremel. You're cutting down deep inside the line. Then you can use the side of this burr. So you got the sharp point, but then you could, okay, so the point, then you could use it the side of it to remove a lot of wood too, to make this leaf stick off and take lots of this wood down below. And it's also like they're all the same. I don't know if I need to show all the different grades. I'm gonna start getting confused here. But so here's your black, your extreme, your original, and your fine. There's those three different ones. Most aggressive, middle, then your fine, the gold. So I suggest 100% getting yourself the extreme flame burr and one of these ones too. So those are that. Then here's the other type of taper burr. Um, I've had these burrs here for 2 months waiting to make this video. It's more like a reversed cone burr. So this is the taper too. This is good for also doing undercuts. It's got the point on it, so you could use the point to carve, or you could lay it on its side and you can remove wood that way too. Like if you're trying to, let's get this spun around here. Say if you're trying to get rid of that square edge, you just lay this burr on its side and you slowly remove the wood here. Stand by. Let me get the other ones out of the case. Okay, so here's those ones. Let's compare it to the other taper burrs. So there's two types of taper burrs. You get the longer, skinnier one. You get the shorter, reversed cone one. But so, okay, that's those ones. I use these ones all the time too. This last burr that I got here, it's the Kutzall. It's the sphere burr. It's like a circle. I don't use this that often, but I'm not saying don't buy it. So it's just like a round ball. And this one is super aggressive. It's probably the biggest out of the burrs. Um, so I'll compare it to the flame burr. Okay. So to use this circle one, what I would use this for, say if I had a subject in the middle here. Say if this was an owl right here, center, and I needed to get back into the background and carve that wood away in there. Sometimes you have an edge with these flame burrs. You can't really get in there, so it's good to put this on your Dremel. Pretend that my finger's my flex shaft. Then you could get in there with holding it straight and carve all that wood away, and you can make circle textures on the wood too with this. So let me get the other ones out of the package. I'll show you all three of them. So here you go. Here's all three of them. So this can also work. This smooth one can work. Say if you carve beard hairs with the wood spirit, you could smooth out the beard hairs after you carve them with the flame burr, with this round burr. I don't use these ones that often, but they are good burrs to have into your kit too. So I'm going to put all the burrs, one of each burr in my hand so you can see them all. There's one other burr I don't have brand new. Actually, there's a couple. There's one that's like a kind of like a little saw blade. It's pretty aggressive. There's also this one. It's a little bit plugged up here, but this is the same as the where is it here? I don't even know what this burr is called. It might be a taper burr too, but you see, you got the cone one here. This one's kind of like an inverted cone. I don't know, either which way. But this one is good too, because it's got the cutters on the bottom. This one's good too when you're, say, once again, if this is the owl that you got carved here and you're trying to remove some of the background, it's good too because you can really get in there and cut with the bottom and carve it deep. Also, because this one is tapered in, you can somewhat, say if you got a straight edge like this, you can somewhat, pretend this is on my flex shaft, you can somewhat use the side of it and get a undercut that way too, because it's shaped like that. Oh, this is called a dovetail, I believe. Anyway, so let me show the burrs that I got here on my hand, and all these burrs you can get below. I got down below in the description. I'll leave the Kutzall site. If you use the code CFusion, you'll save yourself 5%. So I suggest if you're getting into the beginning wood carving, to get yourself these more aggressive type burrs, because well, the more burrs that you have in your arsenal, the better carving that you'll be able to do. So there you go. And there's this one too. I don't really use the cutting one. Let me get these laid out properly. Okay, so your flame burr, 100% my go-to burr right here. Absolutely, I use this burr all the time. I use this burr for like 90% of my carving. Then you got your taper burr. It's like shaped like a cone. Then you got your longer taper burr. I use this one. I use these three all the time. So this one, 80%, the flame burr, and then these two, the other 20%. Then you got your round burr for doing whatever you got to do. Then you got your dovetail kind of burr here. So I think that got that covered. So once again, you guys, if you want to get the Kutzall burrs, just go to the description below. And this video will be shared to both my channel. 1/8 Dremel carving Kutzall burrs right here. This is what you got to get if you want to really start hogging out the wood.